Hey there, it's Diane Banks, radio personality and voiceover actress in Chicago. On Twitter every day at Diane_Banks. Let's follow each other. Voice123.com/Diane Banks. Here's my demo. You can hire me or take voice classes with me on Skype. And of course, YouTube with new videos all the time. Here's some suggestions for you, some of my most recent that I made for you. And we're up to 628,000 views, so please continue to watch and share and subscribe if you haven't yet. What I'd like to do is feature you in a future video asking folks to subscribe instead of me. So you can send a photo of you or your friends, your pets, your favorite Disney merch like I did here, whatever you want to do. Be creative and send it to dianebanks@inbox.com. Just don't forget to include your name and city so I can say hi to you. Again, dianebanks@inbox.com. Looking forward to featuring you in a future video. So let's talk about a couple of things today about Inside Out that I guess you could say are kind of on the sad side, but I think they're going to change their minds as far as featuring Inside Out 2 as another Pixar movie, because look at these box office numbers. This is already, it's only been out, what, a couple of weeks? 309 million domestic, 183 million in foreign markets, so worldwide almost 500 million already. So they're saying no plans for Inside Out 2. This is from Screen Rant, but I think that is going to change. But let me just give you the quick rundown of what they said here. Pete Docter, of course, the director, addressed the sequel question, saying he'd rather add to the studio's staple of original films like his previous efforts, Monsters, Inc. and Up, instead of finding another story to tell for joy, sadness, disgust, fear, and anger. But here's the kicker. There's no sequel idea from me at this point. Ta-da! So we'll take that with it. It'll mean that it'll be a long time before we'd see one, because it takes a long time to make it and there's nothing in the works. But that doesn't mean that it will never happen. But again, for right now, it does mean that that's not going to happen. But I thought one of the interesting things, and maybe you know this, is that the story of Inside Out is based on his daughter and her growing up. I thought that was pretty cute. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you about was an update on this whole Inside Out Insidious thing. Did you hear about this? There was a theater in Ohio. Apparently, the kids thought that they were going to see Inside Out with their parents, and then the trailer to Insidious Chapter 3 started, which is a super scary horror movie. Kids freaking out, parents freaking out. That's what the original story was. And then this one woman who was there said, there was pretty graphic, horrible things going on screen, spooking the children out, blah, blah, blah. But here's the update and the kicker, which I think is kind of funny, because you know how when you're a kid growing up and there's those rumors, the stories, like it's that game you play where you start a rumor on one side of the room, and then by the time it gets to the end of the room, it's like totally different, or it's just not what the story was originally. I think that's kind of what happened here. This made for good press. But this one woman who claims that she was there wrote on her Facebook, so let's take a look at that. Her name is Mandy. And she says, ta-da, for one thing, Insidious never started. The managers caught on to what was happening. They turned the film off right after the opening credits, before any of the actual film played. No kids getting hurt anywhere within the entire hour and a half of Insidious, so it's pretty clear that this was a gross exaggeration. What they might have been talking about was a trailer for Sinister 2, which did play and features some bad things happening to children. But the trailer plays everywhere, including TV, so that's probably where that came from. So again, it's like one of those rumors, wah wah, that changed into something else. But this is kind of interesting too. She says, as a customer, at the time, I have to say the kids were calm and fine until a couple of parents started screaming at the top of their lungs, scaring everyone far more than the unfortunate mix-up did. The staff was apologetic. They gave them 3D passes, I guess, and some other things. And then I thought this was interesting too. Before we wrap up, there was just one more here. Look at this. Just a little bit on Ohio. This theater screws up a lot. My boyfriend and I went to see It Follows back in April. They played the kid movie Home instead. No damage done, but they should know what they are doing. And then just this final one, which I thought was a hoot, just because this looks like she's saying this in the little Inside Out photo. Big deal. Blah, blah, blah. Accidents happen. So there we go, a couple of interesting Inside Out bits of news, an update on what really happened with the whole Insidious thing, no screaming kids, and that so far no plans for Inside Out 2, but I think it'll happen down the road. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think there'll be an Inside Out 2? What do you think really happened at the movie theater? It's Diane Banks at Twitter, Diane_Banks, voice123.com/Diane Banks, and YouTube. New videos all the time. Please continue to watch and share and subscribe, and send your subscribe photo to me at DianeBanks@inbox.com. Take care, and we'll talk soon.